Most nights, the school hallways were silent, just the hum of old vents and the soft squeak of a mop bucket. But on this night, as Evan Brooks, a 38-year-old single dad and janitor, pushed his cart around the corner, he heard something he couldn't ignore: a girl crying. Then a thud, then another. Evan froze. His 7-year-old daughter, Mia, was sitting on his cart, drawing unicorns on scrap paper. She looked up at him with wide eyes. "Daddy, please help her." That was all it took. Evan didn't hesitate, not even for a breath. He followed the sound into the dim parking lot behind the school, where 3 grown men had cornered a teenage girl by the dumpsters. She couldn't have been older than 15. Evan stepped forward. "Hey, that's enough." The men laughed. One shoved him. Another pulled out a switchblade, but they didn't know the truth. Before he became a janitor, Evan had served 8 years as a Navy master-at-arms. He wasn't the kind of man who ran from danger. He stepped between the girl and the men, his voice low and steady. "Mia, close your eyes." She did. The fight lasted 30 seconds. 3 men on the ground. 1 crying, 1 groaning, 1 begging, and Evan holding the girl safely behind him until police sirens echoed down the street. The officers recognized Evan instantly. He'd broken up trouble before. They took the men, took statements, and thanked him. But Evan didn't feel like a hero. He picked up Mia, hugged her, tucked her into his old pickup, and drove home. Just another night of being a dad. The next morning, Evan arrived at the school before sunrise, coffee in one hand, keys in the other. He was halfway down the hallway when the principal ran toward him. "Evan, there's someone here to see you." He thought it was about last night. Maybe paperwork, maybe trouble. But when he stepped into the lobby, he froze that a towering man in full Navy dress uniform stood waiting. Rows of medals, sharply pressed jacket, a presence so commanding that even the teachers passing by fell silent. The principal whispered, "That's Admiral Thomas Hale." The Thomas Hale, one of the highest-ranking officers in the Navy. Evan swallowed. What is this about?" The Admiral turned, his expression unreadable. "Are you Evan Brooks?" "Yes, sir." The Admiral stepped closer. "My daughter, the girl you protected last night. That was my child, Lily." Evan blinked. The girl never said who she was. She'd been shaking too much to speak. The Admiral's tone softened, barely. "She said a janitor defended her like she was his own blood. She said your daughter asked you to help her." Evan nodded slowly. "She did, sir." The Admiral looked at him for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he saluted. Not a casual thank you, a full, crisp, military salute from one decorated veteran to another. Evan's breath hitched. "Sir, I'm not active anymore." "You didn't stop being who you are," the Admiral replied. "Your uniform changed. Your character didn't." Teachers watched from both sides of the hallway, wide-eyed, whispering. Evan felt himself straighten, the old discipline returning on instinct. The Admiral lowered his hand and took out an envelope. "And this is full scholarship approval for your daughter. Any school in this district. I already spoke to the board." He paused. "And in here is my card. If you ever want to rejoin the Navy or work security at any of our bases, say the word." Evan stared at the envelope. He wasn't a man who cried easily, but his throat closed. "Sir, thank you. I was just doing what anyone would do." "No," the Admiral said. "Most people would have walked away. You didn't." He placed a hand on Evan's shoulder. "And my daughter gets to live out her life because of that." The moment that broke everyone just then, little Mia peeked around the corner, clutching her stuffed penguin. The Admiral knelt in front of her. "Can I give you something?" he asked gently. She nodded. He handed her a small Navy pin shaped like a silver anchor. "This is given to people who inspire courage," he said softly. "Last night, you reminded your dad what he was born to be." Mia looked up at her father, then at the Admiral. "I just didn't want the girl to be scared," she whispered. The Admiral smiled, the kind of smile that shows in the eyes, not the lips. "That makes you braver than most adults I've met." She hugged him without warning. The Admiral froze, startled, then slowly wrapped an arm around her. Teachers teared up. The principal wiped her eyes. Even Evan felt warmth rise behind his eyes. A quiet hero. The Admiral stood and faced Evan again. "You may think you're just a janitor," he said, "but last night, you were the shield between a child and the dark. And the world needs men like that." Before leaving, he added one more line that stuck with Evan forever. "Heroes don't always wear uniforms." Sometimes they push mop buckets. Then he was gone. A new beginning in the months that followed. Mia moved into a better school, fully funded. The community learned what happened, and Evan suddenly found himself treated with a respect he'd never felt before. And one afternoon, Evan received a letter, an offer for a stable security job at a naval facility nearby, sent personally by Admiral Hale. But Evan kept working at the school for now. Because sometimes, the world doesn't need more soldiers. It needs fathers who listen when their children whisper, "Daddy, please help her." And Evan Brooks was exactly where he was meant to be.